Hello and Happy New Year. Hope everyone had great holidays. I'm finally back with a new episode. This one's a special one. He's one of my oldest friends, and we came up in the same music scenes way back in the day. He's a singer, multi-instrumentalist, and co-founder of the post-punk, post-hardcore band Break to Broken, and also his terrific solo project, No Wake. Here's my talk with Eli Nowak. Thank you so much for doing this, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Like I said, when I hatched this crazy idea of doing a podcast, you were definitely one of the first and early people I had in mind. So
means a lot.
Thank you, man.
To be here.
Just a little quick backstory. We've known each other since 8th grade, I would say. At least been aware of each other since the 8th grade.
Definitely, at least somewhere around there, for sure.
Through our mutual friend Otto that we both grew up with. You were one of the first people he mentioned as far as playing music together. Yeah. I guess you guys maybe started playing music right around the same. Maybe you had been playing music, younger than. I'm not sure. I know Otto played piano very young. He had been much like a lot of us. I was put in lessons when I was 5, 6 years old. But he picked up guitar at 12, 13 years old, and he was already swinging for the fences.
Yeah, very quickly. He jumped in and he just took to it, and immediately he was an incredible guitarist. It was crazy. Yeah, I was a drummer originally. Maybe when I was about 10, I started playing the drums, and I was doing that for a while, and then played in some different bands like with my cousins and stuff like that. And and then eventually, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, eventually I grabbed a guitar that was laying around the house, taught myself how to play all that fun stuff. But Ara and some other friends who were more well-versed in guitar would kind of teach me things here and there as I was just tinkering around and stuff. But
you caught up quickly.
Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah. So I kind of went back and forth between the drums and guitar. I just loved them both equally. And then he had his band maybe in the middle school era with our other friend, George, who was drummer extraordinaire. Yeah. Right. And I was playing in a different band, middle school rock band, I would say, with a couple other friends. And then eventually, Ara and I always messed around together, jammed here and there. But eventually, I would say we officially formed a band together. Forces. Maybe our senior year in high school. It took that long.
Oh, wow. It took that long. I always thought it was a little earlier than that.
Yeah, well, he was always doing his, we had these, high school rock shows and stuff like that. And
I've been to many.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Yeah. I remember seeing you in the crowd there. Yeah. He and George often were in bands together, and I was still with that core group that I was originally making music with in middle school. And then, but eventually, but we were always messing around. We were always very close friends and messed around with music always whenever we could, but never really were in an official band together until I think early or senior year in high school. So that would have been late 96. Yeah. Yeah. And then I was playing a lot more guitar at that point than I was drums, and I had started singing. So I was kind of doing the front person thing.
Gotcha. If you will. Because I know in one of the projects you guys did, you were switching instruments a lot too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that would be, but we always were doing that. Any opportunity we got.
There was a lot of that Rockland County scene that you guys were part of, and I remember you guys weren't necessarily a cover. You did covers. You weren't necessarily a cover band, but you had originals, and then you would do classic rock and whatever was of the moment that sounded like what you guys were doing. So it all just meshed into one thing, and then.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because that's what we were going for. Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes you'd hop on drums and he'd hop on, and then you would switch. And then I don't know if George was playing drums with you guys at that time.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, George would jump on different instruments too. He'd play bass and guitar and stuff like that. Yeah. With different bands.
But this is before you guys.
Before that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It became the thing that.
Yes.
You guys did through much of senior year of high school and then a little beyond. Yeah.
Yes, definitely all through senior year. And then, beyond. We all went off our separate ways to college around that time.
And had respective musical projects in college. But then I remember you guys would still reconvene.
Always. We always look forward to the times when we could all come back.
Yeah.
to the original spot and just get together and make music, whether that be recording or playing as many shows as we could.
I only bring all this up because obviously it's part of both our histories, but it was very formative for you in terms of what it meant to be a songwriter, what it meant to operate inside a band.
Absolutely.
What performances were, what shows were. I mean, that was a big part of what you guys were involved in trying to accomplish.
For sure. Yeah. We took it very seriously, and we had to make the most of the time we had together, because it was just bits and pieces of time. It was so sporadic that we were able to see each other. That when we got together, we tried to record a demo or even a full record or an EP or whatever. An EP. Play as many shows as we could, and that's just how it went for a number of years there. But we always look forward to getting back together and doing all that, and making that our main thing. But then, eventually, people moved away from one another, and but
life happens.
But I mean, we're all still very close and still work on music whenever we can together, still to this day. And
because you guys still co-write for Another Thing or whatever.
Definitely.
Which is cool. I want to take it back just a bit further before we hop into the future again. But I know you started off on drums, but was that because through your grandfather? Because I know he was a professional drummer.
Yeah, great.
Through much of his later life here in New Jersey.
Big time. I don't know if I gravitated towards, I would imagine that at least part of the reason why I gravitated towards the drums was related to him. But I think I was just slamming on everything all the time when I was, a kid. And eventually my mom, drum lessons.
Something similar here too. Yes.
Yep. And it just took to it. It just made sense to me. Loved it. And yes, I don't know if it's a chicken or egg kind of a thing, but definitely it connected my grandfather and I on such a level where, he would give me gear or even gave me a full drum kit that he wasn't using at the time. And that was a Slingerland kit. I know that's your preferred brand, right?
It sort of became that way.
One of them. One of them. So I don't have that kit anymore, but I have the snare. I'm right now.
I think you've showed that to me once. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool snare.
Yep. Yeah. I love it. So that's, I guess, where drums started. It was about 10 to 12. I was I was only drums, very active doing that, taking lessons. And around 12, I stopped taking lessons and just kept playing, just no more lessons at that time. I thought I'd go back, but I never did.
It didn't seem to hurt you though. So
no. I guess not. It was always, I don't know, again, maybe you can relate to this too, but just, I don't know, drums just made sense. I don't know. It just
for me, it was completely by accident because I loved the drums, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
What sound is what on the kit? Like I get what the snare is. I get but what is everything else? And I didn't really understand it till one day I sat behind an older friend of mine's, coincidentally also an old 70s Slingerland kid. And I started understand like, oh, that's what the kick sounds like. That's when you check the hi-hat. That's what it. So all of a sudden, like I started piecing together the sounds I'd been hearing. And then I just kind of realized I had the natural coordination to make what I was hearing happen. And that's kind of how it started.
Beautifully said. And that's exactly what I was trying to convey. And you said it so much more eloquently than I did. But yes, for sure. Yeah, there was always music going on in the house too. My dad, piano player, songwriter. He was
a songwriter too, right?
Yeah. He wrote jingles way back in the day, but also great songwriter as well. He did it all, and still a phenomenal piano player and singer. And my grandfather that I was talking about was my mom's father, so it was on both sides.
Okay,
and definitely piano in the home, guitars laying around that nobody knew how to play, and that's kind of what happened. Eventually, I saw those guitars and picked one up and really just kind of maybe about 13 and just started banging around on that thing. Almost like it was a percussion instrument. Didn't know how to play chords or anything, but I knew how to get sounds rhythms out of it. Exactly. Yeah. And that was a much easier thing to tinker around with in the evenings without waking anyone up. Slamming on the drums. I was just able to play the guitar all night. And so I kind of developed that love really quickly too.
And that's one thing I've started thinking about is at least our generation obviously older Gen Xers and boomers too. If we started getting interested in music, we were like, okay, let's see how much of it we can do. Okay, you play guitar, you're going to eventually play bass too. And then you might actually start messing around on drums, you know.
It's so funny you say that because I know you brought up, sorry, I'm just looking at something here. Yeah. Turn that down.
No
flip it around. Yeah, but actually that came in handy because it relates to something maybe we were going to talk about here today. Bringing it all together, we were talking about our mutual friends Ara and George, and they were playing in their band middle school up in maybe freshman year in high school.
A lot of Metallica, a lot of Nirvana.
And that's they needed a bassist. They were putting together a little band. They needed a bassist for a little rock show performance, and they were going to be playing For Whom the Bell Tolls. Yeah. Metallica. Oh, wow. There you go. There you go. And they called me up. They said, I need you to play bass. And I said, I don't know how to play the bass. And they said, sure you do. And that's kind of where those guys came in. They were just so encouraging. Just pick it up. You know how to play guitar. You got the rhythm. Just play. And you just learn the song and play it. And that's just what we did. And I remember that performance. That was a funny one. But so first performance in high school on a stage was with a bass, which felt a little unnatural at the time. But a little 14-year-old me just jumping around the stage on the bass. Yeah.
But that was just the nature of things.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't consider myself a bassist or guitarist, but I've played bass and at shows if it's needed, you know, like I don't, I don't know. I don't know the first thing about the bass, but I know where the notes are, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was kind of how it went organically from there, just over the years, just like you said, just everyone kind of jumping in. There was a musical community going on. And
your high school, I can say, was very arts driven. I went to a much bigger high school, and we had a little sort of like loose crew of musicians. Obviously, our mutual friend Jason DeZuzio, who went on to be a superstar songwriter in the top 40 world.
Amazing.
And then another buddy of mine, Mike Carroll, who I just reconnected with, he played in the later versions of the Escape Engine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You know, Paramus crew, you know.
Yeah.
But there was something special about your high school in that I always talk about this with my wife, who you went to high school with. It was almost like Fame at some point.
It was, I think we took it for granted at the time because I don't hear it was a public high school, just Montville, New Jersey, but
strong arts programs.
And again, I didn't realize it until way later when I would ask or talk to people about their high school experiences, and it didn't musician friends, I would say, and it didn't sound the same as what we got to experience. So we were very lucky. We had some great teachers who really kind of pushed us to perform and participate in these shows and do these kinds of things. And everyone had an opportunity to get loud, make noise, just go nuts on the high school auditorium stage.
Stage or whatever band shell you could take over and co-op for a weekend.
Right. Exactly. So there were many of us were playing in 3 bands and on these, per night at these rock shows. And I was playing drums in one band and then playing guitar and singing in another. And
totally.
So that's just kind of how it went.
And then all of a sudden backing up a singer-songwriter because they need a guitarist.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That definitely happened too. Yes. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. Playing just, And then eventually senior year came around and Ara and George and I joined forces officially with another friend on bass. And we took that band, the level of seriousness that we focused on this band in a very serious way. We took it very seriously. And,
and you guys did develop a buzz in Northern Jersey, Rockland County area. I mean, you guys were definitely making a name for yourselves in the circuit and, dominating Battle of the Bands type thing.
Well, we were trying to. We were called John Ho at the time, named after
another friend from high school.
Exactly right. Another tribute to another peer. And we played all around Jersey, played some venues in New York. It was CBGB. Wetlands. We played. We played wherever and whenever we could. Again, within those very short bursts of time, pockets of time
that you can actually get together.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
I remember one time you guys played a CB's matinee right before Joey Ramone's birthday, which was
that's right. That's a fun story. Yep. Bumped into Joey. He's walking out. We're walking in, and we had our fun encounter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that was.
You can't beat that.
No, that was the coolest thing ever. We had a good time. Yeah. Doing all those shows as much as we could. And eventually, like you said, life happens, and still very tight and play whenever we can.
And you did a bunch of recordings in that time.
Yeah.
You know, our friend Jay produced the last thing you guys did, which was a great album.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. That ended up being a fun EP, little, I don't want to call it a reunion because we never officially broke up. It an EP? It was a four.
Oh, it's a four.
Yeah.
Did you guys record more songs than that?
At the time, no, I don't believe we did. There might have been other ideas flying around, but those four, by that point, we changed our name to Doc Flow. That's a long story that I'll spare you. But that's out there. But we did it. We made it happen. It came out really great. And
it was cool. There was moments of like Queens of the Stone Age on there. I remember that one song was very Queens. Also Alice in Chains, which was cool.
I think I know which song you're talking about. Yeah. People called us, I don't know. We were an odd, our own blend of, I don't even know what we would call ourselves.
Yeah.
We had a few different genres going on at the time.
I mean, you were like super heavy, but melodic in the beginning. Yeah. And then you sort of just ended up in a more straightforward rock type.
Yeah.
But still eclectic influences, if that makes sense.
We found out it took a little while, but we eventually, toward the end, found a way to streamline our ideas in cohesive song formats that spoke to all of our influences in a way that maybe we weren't able to do when we were younger. Yeah. So we figured it out. And Paint the Stage was the EP. That was called.
Yes.
Doc Flow, Paint the Stage EP.
Paint the Stage, yeah. But for the sake of time, I just want to jump ahead a little bit. So you still obviously played music throughout college.
Oh, yeah. Never not working on something, even when John Ho or Doc Flow, that band was not active because we were separated. I was always, playing with different friends and doing a lot of acoustic kind of solo stuff, solo recordings and things like that. So never stopped, always kept it moving. Eventually, later on, I challenged myself and decided that I was going to see if I could record a full-length record by myself, basically playing all of the instruments. And that's what I ended up doing, just mainly for fun, just to see if I could. And I called that No Wake.
And that's still your solo project?
It is. Yeah. And that continued from there. I've got a couple of records out and then some EPs as well.
Yeah, which you still do.
Yeah. And always, if I only had more time, but there's so much to be recorded.
Right.
A lot of No Wake material to be worked on for sure. And stay tuned for that. Yeah.
You're a mental health professional. Yeah. Of course.
Yes.
And I know you've been doing some stuff musically that ties in a lot of that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, most recently, I was invited to participate in a beautiful event that was put together by a relatively newer friend named Shane Murphy. And he owns this incredible record store in Boonton here in New Jersey, about 20 minutes from where I live. It's called Hidden Tracks Records. And he actually has his own nonprofit organization called Mending Through Music. And all proceeds go to it's a suicide prevention related charity, organization. And so that was the most recent. Yeah. He presented a festival where he had artists performing at Hidden Tracks Records, which is also a music venue.
Yeah, it's a great new venue here.
Yeah, it's really great. And then there's Boonton Coffee Company, which is right up the road. Right. I played there that night. So he invited me to participate in that, which was really special. And I love being able to blend the two, because those are definitely the two passions, when I can play and perform music or record music and also really tap into the passion and spread awareness regarding various issues. That's really important to me.
So when you play solo acoustic, you're obviously doing No Wake stuff, but are you doing also acoustic versions of, I'll mention now, Break the Broken is the current, we can call it a band.
Yes. We refer to it as a band for sure. It's a unique band, but yes,
it's a unique situation.
It is a unique situation, but for all intents and purposes, we behave and function as a band. But so to answer your question, yes. When I perform solo acoustic, it's definitely the No Wake material. Some choice covers here and there, but primarily the original No Wake stuff and a few Break to Broken songs. And Break to Broken was a band that formed early on during the pandemic. Like many of us, I turned to social media at that time. I'm not a huge social media person, but I jumped on there to try to connect with other people who, like we were talking about earlier, like to dig deep into music talk. And so I was in a Facebook group dedicated to the lovely band Fugazi, Washington, D.C., right? And run by now a friend, Jared Coffin. It's called This Is Not a Fugazi Facebook group. And an Australian man puts out a post, hey, would anybody like to collaborate on some music in the vein of Fugazi? And I just said yes. And another person said yes. His name is Justin. Clint is the Australian man. And these are now really close friends of mine.
Very cool.
That's fast forwarding, but we ended up just throwing some demos around. And before we knew it, we realized that we were very compatible musically and started writing and recording. And Clint does all the mixing and mastering in Australia at his home studio. And Justin's a graphic designer. So in addition to being an incredible musician, he's also doing all of our artwork.
Which is very cool. It's very reminiscent of like 4AD type stuff.
Yeah. Well, good call. I'm sure he'd love that. I'll pass that along to him. We're multi-instrumentalists, but in that band, I'm co-lead vocalist, I would say, and I'm playing a bunch of guitar, but I'm also playing all the drums.
All the drums, because in the spirit of Fugazi, there's the dual vocal.
Exactly
happening.
Exactly.
There's a lot of post-punk influence. I hear a lot of Gang of Four, Mission of Burma. A lot of old school American hardcore in there too. Descendants, Husker Du.
Love that you're picking up on all that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's all there. It's a very cool cohesion of different sounds. Appreciate obviously the Discord stuff like proto emo, if you want to call it.
I know what you mean.
Embrace. Lungfish has breathed itself into the sound too a bit. I can hear
and Break to Broken, the name that is a title of a song by a band called One Last Wish, which was Guy and Brendan from Fugazi were in that band as well, or earlier on. And it's been a really incredible experience. We've got a bunch of songs in rotation on the Faction Punk channel on Sirius XM. And
I was just going to bring that up.
Thanks.
And got some play on XMU too, which is cool.
Yeah, that's right. That was an acoustic solo version of one of our songs that I had done. And it's been a really gratifying, fun project. We're always working on stuff. And like I said, we function as a band. We refer to ourselves as a band. We just haven't been able to all be in the same room together. Justin, who originally was from New Jersey, has since moved to Virginia, but he still pops up to New Jersey from time to time and we get together. Hopefully I'll see him actually in a couple weeks, but haven't met Clint in person yet, but we're all constantly communicating and working on stuff. We're working on our second full length right now, and we got to collaborate with some of our heroes.
Nice,
recently, Mike Watt, which was
that's right. That's that's super cool.
That was a lot of fun, and hopefully more of that to come too. But stay tuned for the next record. We're quite close to finishing that next one.
Very nice. I will provide all the information
to
your album and EPs and singles.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Thanks.
I know your time. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I know your time is limited, but you're welcome back anytime. We could pick up where we left off.
Yeah. Would love to. Love to. Whenever, some more things to talk about, more things to share, for sure. Happy to share whatever you'd like to know. Yeah, it's but I appreciate you having me. This was a lot of fun, and I really hope to do it again.
Yeah.
This is great.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for doing this. This is an incredible idea, incredible podcast.
That was Eli Nowak. I'll hopefully have him on again very soon for a part 2. Give him and his projects a follow. Check out his music, No Wake, Break to Broken, Doc Flow, and Dr. Reaper and the infamous Soul Syndicate. Links to all that are on his Linktree, found in the description and show notes. The Basements for Stars is a Caspian Seal production. Intro music by yours truly. Background music by Hits Lab. The outro music is No Care featuring Mike Watt by The Great Break to Broken. Now streaming on all streaming platforms and most importantly on Bandcamp. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all very soon.